This is how you'll get to return to the bench press the fastest. For anybody who's got shoulder problems, you've got to do all these things: mobility, stability before ability. Well, here we are. We're really letting the secrets out today. Always, when we're going to do bench press work, I'm telling you, you've got to do the big three, shoulder big three on the floor. That's where you start. That's your base of the pyramid. You don't get the right to move on to anything else until you've done those. But now we're going to look at specifically where we go to create the painless bench. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to engage some lat work. Lat work because the shoulder has to be supported by the lat when we do our depression of the scapula. So Dan, I'm going to get you to do some lat pulls to start with. Now, leans back, bit of a hip hinge. She's going to drive her elbow to her pelvis and she laterally flexes into it. This is the movement of the lat. Is its elbow extension, adduction, and also laterally flexes the lumbar spine. So what we're doing here is we're isolating the lat each side with this particular movement. So we do both the right and the left side to make sure the lat gets its best activation rather than a two-handed movement. I want to make sure each lat gets turned on. And then we're going to add in the next component. But here, Dani is bringing the elbow down towards the pelvis. As she brings it in, she leans into it. She feels that real low area on the lat, because that's where the lat's true muscle belly is. It's low. And the tendon just attaches up in underneath the biceps in the groove. How's that feeling, Dan? You got it working?
Really good.
Great. Okay, we will do that on both sides normally. And then we're going to use the next movement, which is external rotation and side lying, but done correctly. Now, the next stage of our bench setup. We activated the lat specifically first. We're now going to do external rotation and side lying. It has to be done side lying, not standing with a band. If you're standing with a band, gravity is going that way, and then you're going across gravity this way. In the side lying on the ground, you're now going against gravity, and you're lying, which is going to translate to the bench where you're going to be lying. So it's very specific that when I'm setting this up in a rehab, it's lat pull, but side lying external rotation. Now the cue is, as Dani's already doing, pulling her shoulder blade down towards her butt. By doing that, the lat, which is already activated, is now excited and it's helping to pull the shoulder girdle down. Although it attaches onto the humerus, there's a large percentage of people actually have lat fibers that come from the scapula. But the depression of the shoulder girdle will create the lat stability. Now Dani, if you can externally rotate to horizontal, that's it, and down to the waist. Enjoy. That's a tough weight, 2 kilograms in this exercise. So, the important thing is not so much the rotation, it's the setup. It's the fact you're getting your scapula pulled down towards your butt, you're fixing it in this position, then externally rotating in a small range. Remember, in the bench, there's not a whole lot of movement really happening in rotation. So all I need to do is get the external rotators, the teres, the infraspinatus, stabilizing, preparing that they're going to load. Now we're doing that off that lat activation. Of course, we're going to have the lat activation included in creation of the arch. So exciting the lat to stabilize the shoulder girdle, adding in external rotation, then we take that to the bench. Repetitions on these exercises around about 15. Thanks, Dani. How's that feel? Great. On to the bench next. Now, we've done our lat activations, we've done our shoulder external rotations. Naturally, we started with the big three on the floor. You always do that. You should be doing your thoracic extension over the bar as well, your thoracic mobility series. A lot of people should be doing the cervical spine extension work. All these things are important for the mobility before we produce the bench itself. So make sure you're doing your shoulder big three, make sure you're doing your mobility work. Then specific to the bench, the next stage, your lat pulls, your external rotation side lying, and now we integrate that all into the bench. This is how you'll get to return to the bench press the fastest. For anybody who's got shoulder problems, you've got to do all these things: mobility, stability before ability. Okay, Dani, now you're ready to go. Great. Dani puts her hands in good position. She's going to use a very basic bench. So for her, good, strong mobility position. Nice arch. She's creating that through her strong lats. She lifts off. She pulls her shoulder blades down to her butt. She's tight and she's pressing. Let's do a few reps there, Dani. Everything comes off that cue, compression of the scapula, pushing through the feet, keeping the hips down, which is great. And everything's tight. Tight, tight is the word. Tight, producing ability. Nothing's loose here at all. It looks great, Dani. Good work. And you can be done after the next rep. Good. Now, did that feel as good as it looked?
That was amazing. Super tight, ready to add some more weight.
Yeah, it looked great. Your ability has been unleashed. And we didn't do any stretching at all.
That's right.
Naturally. Only strengthening. Well done.
If you like what you see, guys, click here. No.
Here.
Here.
No, there.
Here.
There. Just bench.
Bench.